The biggest crowd for nearly 15 years crammed into Knockhill for rounds 19, 20 and 21 of this year's Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. It was Rob Austin who claimed his first ever BTCC pole position in qualifying on Saturday, and the Audi A4 driver made a stellar getaway for the opening contest. The lead trio sensationally went side by side into the final hairpin on lap 2, and it was the BMW of Colin Turkington who emerged in front, whilst Austin fended off the Honda Civic of Gordon Shedden. Former BTCC champ Turkington quickly put a gap between him and the tussling duo behind, before reigning champion Shedden eventually made it by the Audi of Austin on lap 4. Meanwhile, old adversaries Jason Plato and Matt Neal were having a ding-dong battle for fourth. The two made contact as Neal tried to pass, with Plato doing well to save his MG6 and maintain position. Drama followed further down the order when Nick Foster's BMW touched the Vauxhall insignia of Paul O'Neill. Both cars locked together on exit of the corner before O'Neill's insignia was fired across the track and into the barrier. That brought out the safety car. Rob Collard and Andrew Jordan produced some great racing after the restart, going side by side on a number of occasions before the BMW made the pass by the ballast-laden Civic. Seventh became sixth for Collard when he made a routine manoeuvre by standings leader Neal. The final podium positions produced the most entertainment in the closing stages after Adam Morgan nudged his way past Plato and set about closing down Shedden and Austin ahead of him. Austin made a series of attempts to reclaim second, but when he realised that third was in doubt, with the Sicily Avensis looming in his mirrors, he was forced to settle for third, behind the victorious Turkington and local hero Shedden. Turkington doubled up by taking a commanding victory from pole position in the second race of the day. The Ulsterman made a quick getaway from the line and never looked back, whilst Rob Austin moved ahead of Gordon Shedden's Honda Civic through turn 1. Rob Collard's impressive day continued as he produced another measured performance in race 2. After blasting by the Toyota Avensis of Adam Morgan off the line, he then went on to pressure two-time champion Jason Plato before passing the MG in the early stages to grab fourth. Matt Neal and Andrew Jordan remained inseparable throughout the contest to come home in 5th and 6th, although the race belonged to Turkington, who took a routine win from Austin and Shedden. The Jack Sears Trophy provided its usual pulsating action, with the lead duo of Liam Griffin and Lee Wood racing against the NGTC cars of Warren Scott and Mike Bushell, plus the Ford Focus of David Nye. It was Griffin who won his second cup of the day as Wood got muscled out of the action. Nye ran wide and into the gravel before limping back to the pits with a puncture. Andrew Jordan took a lights-to-flag victory in the final race at Knockhill, producing a flawless drive ahead of Honda's Matt Neal and the BMW of Rob Collard. It was Collard who had tucked in behind Jordan off the line after he passed Neal, but the three-time champion fought back to make a stellar repass late on after the pair had run side by side from Clark's all the way down to the hairpin. Behind that battle was local hero Gordon Shedden for much of the race after he made his way ahead of the Audi of Rob Austin in the early stages. With a solid points haul looking certain for the Scotsman, he faced late heartache when his car caught fire with what looked to be an engine failure on lap 17. Austin couldn't keep the charging Turkington behind as the eBay Motors BMW nipped by before chasing down the sister car of Collard. The Hampshire driver hung on, however, to score his first podium of the 2013 season behind Jordan and Neal. While the racing at the front was relatively routine, there was drama behind, with two incidents in particular involving Airwaves Racing's Aaron Smith. The Irishman first had contact with the Volkswagen Passat of Warren Scott, which brought out a mid-race safety car period, and he was later embroiled in a clash with newcomer Mike Bushell following the restart. The Ford Focus and the Chevrolet Cruze touched twice. That sent Smith into the barrier, while Bushell limped back to the pits and into retirement. After a great day's racing at Knockhill, we caught up with the race 3 winner, Andrew Jordan.
Well, Andy, it's always nice to leave a circuit with a lovely haul of silverware, and great to get a victory in the final race here at Knockhill.
Yeah, and a bit unexpected, you know, if you'd said at the start of the day or even at the end of the day yesterday after qualifying, knowing we had the grid penalty, it was going to be a tall order, but we put all our eggs in the race 3 basket and put all our efforts in that, used the soft tyre, and fantastic, the car was absolutely faultless, and yeah, I actually enjoyed it.
Just 6 points between you and Matt Neal now as we head off to the next race at Rockingham Falls. So there really is all to fight for there, isn't there?
I'm getting excited. So I'm sure everyone watching will be. You know, it's going to be so tight towards the end of the year. There's so many people always up there. You know, Colin's going to be up there on a regular basis now. You've got Jason, and he'll be in the mix, I'm sure, at the end of it. So it's going to be an interesting end to the season. Rockingham, I think, will be very strong at. Knockhill was always going to be a BMW circuit or a rear-wheel drive circuit, a bit like Croft was. But I still think they'll be strong everywhere else. But you know, Rockingham is where our cars come into its own. A lot of high-speed corners where the Civic really handles very well.
It's a very different kind of track, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot of high-speed corners. Equally, then there's thrown in a few slow chicanes and hairpins, good for overtaking. But the fast corners are really where the Honda Civic works really, really well.
And what do you? Jason Plato here hasn't done particularly well, but are you expecting him to be back in the mix?
He's one of the best. He will be. I'm sure it will be. You know, if we keep going like this, it'll be a 5-way shootout at the end of the year, which is going to be great for the championship. It's really, really competitive at the minute, and I'm just really, really pleased that I'm up there on a regular basis with those guys.
So you're predicting lots of fun for spectators who come along?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's the Premier Championship around. The racing's absolutely fantastic and action all day long. So yeah, it's going to be a good one.
See you there.
See ya.